On Tuesday, Boeing revoked the health benefits of the 33,000 striking workers. The workers, who are mostly in Washington State and are represented by the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, went on strike on September 13th. Now, the union says that their goal in the strike include a 40% wage increase over the length of the new contract, the reinstatement of a pension program, and better health care options. The company responded by ripping away the current health care the workers have, and then made this offer: 30% wage increase over the next 4 years, $6,000 ratification bonus, a reinstated performance bonus, and a 100% match in their 401k contributions, up to 8%. Okay, so now here's the thing. 401ks, they're trash. Pensions are superior in every way, right? The way the pensions worked is that employers made most of the contributions, handled the investments, and paid out the benefits at retirement based on a formula that was legally binding. 401ks, they pass all the responsibility over to you. And basically, they only really help the very wealthy. Nearly 70% of the $190 billion in tax breaks for retirement and income security actually go to the top 20%. While the share of working age households now at risk of being financially unprepared for retirement at age 65 jumped from 31% in 1983 to more than 53% in 2010, coinciding with the rise of 401ks. Gee, it's no wonder why the union, why the workers are demanding the return of pension plans. And it's not like Boeing can't afford it. I mean, they got billions of dollars in bailouts during COVID. And as a result, Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun ended up being paid $32.8 million in 2023, despite overseeing a company that has been plagued by chronic losses and safety problems. Calhoun's total compensation in 2023 was $32.8 million, which is a 45% increase from the $22.6 million he received in 2022. So he got a pay increase, whereas these union members, they didn't get anything. So now, instead of course, actually giving the workers what they're asking for, they've decided as a company to axe the health benefits, which is why Bernie Sanders brought up this point. He said, Boeing's greed offers another perfect example of why we need Medicare for all. Like other wealthy countries, we must guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child as a human right, not a job benefit. Whether you're on strike or not, everyone is entitled to health care. There you go. And by the way, it's not just taking the current Medicare program and expanding it to everybody. It's also expanding the care in it. So I get hit a lot with this. Like, oh, well, the current Medicare wouldn't be great because it denies this and doesn't cover that. And so it would be actually worse. You haven't read Bernie Sanders' proposals on this that expand not only care, but also what is covered by Medicare. And again, even with that additional coverage, it's still cheaper and better. And look, a lot of what hospitals spend their time on, a lot of hospital personnel, is really just arguing with insurance companies about what to cover. Yeah, your doctor has to sit there and haggle with these insurance companies to cover, certain care or certain tests, medications, things like that. That is time that the doctor could actually be spending taking care of you, okay, instead of arguing with insurance companies. And so that's the reality of the situation. That's why Medicare for all would be better, especially the Sanders plan, because it's not like he hasn't thought, oh, no, we're just going to take what we have now and expand it. No, it's more than just that, okay? But anyway, you also might be like, why should the company be paying for people who are on strike? Well, that's not what he's asking for. Medicare for all would actually free employers from having to offer healthcare benefits at all. It wouldn't be their responsibility. So now, wait a minute. If it's so good for the employers, then why would they be against Medicare for all? Well, here's the thing, right? So healthcare, the reason that it's tied to employment and that employers like the system as it is, even though they would save money through a Medicare for All system, is because they can use it to threaten employees into not striking. That's it. That's it. Again, Medicare for All would free workers from being tied to their jobs simply with healthcare coverage. And that expands the strikes. Now, Sarah Nelson, the international president of the Association of Flight Attendants, CWA, wrote on social media that, quote, healthcare should not be tied to employment. Also, shame on Boeing. So now, again, one of the reasons that these companies like having healthcare tied to your job is because they use it as a strike-breaking tactic, okay? For example, General Motors revoked healthcare benefits to striking workers back in 2019 to try to get them to come back to the table, right? And to take their crappy offers. Warrior Met, coal mining company, did the same thing in 2021, and John Deere had threatened to do so during its 2021 strike. And so it's a very effective tactic that these companies like to use. Oh, so what if you go on strike? If you don't take my offer, you're going to lose your health care. And we all know how expensive it is to be uninsured in this country. It's almost a death sentence. So yeah, that's why. Now, add to the fact that there's no federal support to actually stop these companies from ripping healthcare away from striking employees. That said, the Boeing workers say they plan to continue their strike. In fact, Robert Silverman, a 50-year-old, says, I've been working here since I was 16. I've been saving for a long time. From day one of my hiring process, they told us about this day. They said to be ready. There you go. Nelson, getting back to her, she said Boeing could have taken help to keep people on payroll through COVID, but they turned down billions in federal assistance because it came with strings, such as banning stock buybacks and capping executive compensation. This company has bowed repeatedly before the altar of shareholder capitalism. Nelson also said the union's campaign for fair pay and benefits was, in fact, connected to efforts to improve the safety protocols. She said, machinists are fighting for good union jobs, and in the process, they are fighting for our safety. We stand with them. This strike is the best chance we have of saving Boeing and making it once again the marvel of engineering and solid maintenance. So now, look, the issue with Boeing is the issue that we see with a lot of corporations. The drive for short-term profits that causes all sorts of problems. It causes quality problems, okay? It causes safety problems, and it causes labor problems. That's it. This drive for short-term profits actually harms businesses in the long run because they don't look at their long-term company, health. They only look at the short term, which causes all sorts of really bad issues. And the shareholders, of course, won't hire CEOs that will look at the long-term health of the company and ensure the long-term health of the company, which involves happy, healthy employees, okay, and safe, good products and safe working environments. No. They don't look at that because the shareholders, short-term profits, for one, okay, shareholder quarterly profits, that's what they look at. And if a CEO is not making sure that every quarter is more profitable for them, then they get rid of that CEO. So that's the problem here, okay? Now, getting back to healthcare here, this is the last point that I want to make. It's really sad to see that the push for Medicare for All is no longer there. Again, you go back to 2020, that was something that people were talking about. A lot of people were talking about it. News was talking about it. Yes, generally it tends to be, corporate media pushing back and saying, no, this is actually a terrible idea. But it was when Harris was running against Bernie Sanders, and you had all these people that, had signed on and co-sponsored Medicare for All. And now that's gone. That's gone. Nobody's out there pushing it anymore, except for Bernie Sanders, who sadly it no longer gets the attention that he used to on this, because he hasn't changed in his policies. If anything, he's been more supportive of Democrats because he knows that if Democrats don't win, then we're going to keep getting further and further away from those good policies. So, but again, it is sad that nobody is really talking about universal health care anymore. Not Biden, not Harris. And so here we are with the same old healthcare system that is failing so many people with high premiums, co-pays, and deductibles, which is still tied to your job, which means that it can still be ripped away at any moment the company decides. And so that is not a system that is sustainable. That is not a system that is good for workers. It is a system that is really, really good for people, well, to make sure that people, the workers, stay in their place. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.